Anyway, my next guest today is Scott Cupit. He is author of a book called Swing Dance, Fashion, Music, Culture and Key Moves. He's also creator and the man behind Swing Patrol, which really is at the forefront of this new phenomenon of returning back to what do you say, a class age of both music and dance. Welcome to the show, Scott.
Thanks, Cerys. It's great being here.
First question, which I've been desperate to ask you guys. Can you select if it's got the right rhythm, modern music? And do you have nights where you select just pure like music from the last decade to dance these old dances to, out of interest?
Well, you have Harry Connick Jr. and Michael Bublé and so forth.
No, not new acts doing old music, but actually select, say if you found a track by Sin Kane who just played with the right rhythm for your dance. Do you ever try doing that?
There's certain bands that have a swinging rhythm underneath their music, and the swing dancers like just playing them now and then. But really, being swing dancers, we're stuck in our era and we love that era. But yeah, there's certain tunes, but it's not the regular thing.
When did it start for you?
For me personally,
because you come here, you got your waistcoat on, and
I like the vintage look.
The pleated 30s trousers.
I was just backpacking around the USA, and I was a saxophone player, so I always loved swing music. I was that geeky guy at school who everyone said, "What's your favourite music?" And it was big band swing, and my mates would look at me like, "What is that?" And then I ran into Lindy Hop at Disneyland, and then
Disneyland,
I saw them dancing it because I was watching a bandstand and loving the music, and then these swing dancers came out wearing exactly what I'm wearing today, and so I went and asked them, like, "What is it?" And they said, "Oh, it's the Lindy Hop." This is back in 1998, and I had never seen it before, so I was absolutely amazed. And then 3 days later, I saw it at a big New Year's Eve event. The same dance. So to me, that was a sign. It was like this thing had found me because I loved the music, and here's a dance that matched it.
You were a saxophone player then, but not a dancer?
That's right. Yeah, I started as a saxophone player and played in lots of pub bands and music bands and church youth group bands and so forth.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about how easy it is for somebody who hasn't really got much sort of retention for the steps to start learning these steps. But to get us more in the mood, I played everyone Glenn Miller earlier on the show. This is fantastic. There's this lovely quote I've been looking online since I knew you were coming in as a guest, and there's a lovely blogger called Ikaru, which apparently means a person who can't dance.
That's right.
And there's a lovely quote on the blog website by Cab Calloway, who says, "No, you don't want to be that Ikaru who can't dance. Get up, come on, and follow through." I just love that. And he picked a top 10 of albums that I was just like, my eyes just blew out of my skull because they were just terrific, a terrific selection. So including this one. This is Lavender Coffin, which was released in 1949, and it's by Lionel Hampton, and we're going to be talking all about the dance after this. We won't play all the songs. We've got many that I want to play this morning. So this one is 134 beats per minute. What kind of dance would you dance to this, Scott Cupit?
Well, it's perfect for social dancing. So most dancers just want to get out there, have some fun with some friends. So you can swing out to this, and to be able to swing out is your sort of defining move as a swing dancer. So it's perfect.
And you were saying that this one is obviously from the funeral dances at New Orleans, Origins in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's right. When someone passed away back in the day, that was part of the celebration, and there was this huge procession, and people would walk along and they'd play tunes and sing and be part of like this great procession, and this is part of the music.
Scott, you've got a fascinating life. You were brought up in Papua New Guinea.
I'm glad you think that. Yes, I'm the son of missionary parents, and my father translated the Bible into a language called Kiaka in Papua New Guinea. So I'm actually Papuan, believe it or not.
Can you speak it still?
Until I was 6, I was fluent.
Can you say good morning to everybody?
I can say cuddle-a-boopy. Yeah, which is like, how you doing?
Cuddle-a-boopy.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It was a cute language, apparently. No, my father's fluent, but I'm not.
You moved to Australia when you were 7?
That's right, because we're Australian, and so we moved to Melbourne. We were a Sydney family, moved to Melbourne, and like all Australians, sport obsessed, grew up playing cricket, rugby, football, all the rest of it.
You enjoyed that clip I played, didn't you?
I
That's
loved
popular
it.
in Australia.
I thought it was fantastic.
But then you got a degree in banking and finance.
Well, that's right. I went to a certain school that pushed all the young lads into banking and finance, and so I enjoyed the study. study and I enjoyed that side of it. And but there was always something missing for me. There was no real creative part. And I dealt with a lot of big businesses then in the 1987 recession that went broke, and that was quite hard, putting them into receivership. And I guess I learned some good business skills through that experience. But yeah, eventually I had to leave because I just couldn't make a difference.
When did you come to London?
So 6 years ago. So I arrived at Tullamarine with 2 other dancers, and we had no clue what to do. It's
interesting because you came, like you said, you picked up a lot of business experience. You just were talking to me earlier and you said you were flat broke, couldn't pay your rent. So
no.
If you were looking from the outside at somebody that was you,
yes,
and you had this interest in trying to get the swing dance phenomenon off the ground, was trying to start a phenomenon.
Yes.
What would you have said? What would you have thought?
I think you just have to be really determined and committed to, 1, believing in yourself, and 2, believing in what you're trying to do. So when I started Swing Patrol in London and trying to make a difference, you had to be quite definite about doing something every day that would make a difference, and that might mean just putting a poster up somewhere. But I made this promise to myself I would never go to bed till I'd done something, just one thing even. But yeah, you have to be pretty committed to make something happen in London.
But I guess it's this very similar thing that we've got a festival up in North Wales where we celebrate traditional things.
Yes.
We enjoy modern life, but also because we live at such a fast, frantic rate, because we're just flying into the future with all our gadgets. There is this palpable movement, which is the opposite, which is just like this celebration and enjoyment of just going back to the old traditions, whether that's dance or wood carving.
It's so true. And, you know, people often ask me, why has Swing Patrol had such success? And part of it, I think, is a aversion to social media. People, if you go to a Swing Patrol environment, a swing ball, dance ball, or a class, like there was 800 people in a room last night, you're interacting, you're meeting people, you're not on Tinder, you're actually just having conversations with 50 or 100 people and actually just having a normal one-on-one conversation as would you like to dance? Hey, how you doing? Have you danced for long? And so people are loving that backlash from, I guess, the new world of how people meet.
We're going to play the Charleston, and then you're going to, because we'll talk about the book and how the chapters are set out and how easy it is to learn the Charleston. So to get us in, I just keep saying this, in the mood. This is Django Reinhardt.
Amazing.
Well, you can't help tapping your foot, but I can't. I've been invited to do Strictly a few times, and it's just absolutely no way, because I have no idea of how to remember these steps.
Oh, you'd be great.
No, completely blank. So how long would it take? Tell us, if you can. Can you tell us how to do the Charleston quite simply? Well, I've got it in front of me. You've got, it's lovely.
There's
the
a little companion to learn in the book.
Yeah.
But the Charleston is possibly the easiest dance of all, because you're either tapping, which means your foot, like the floor's too hot, so there's no weight in it, or you're stepping. So it's just a tap and a step and a tap and a step. So
in any sort of order?
In any order. So it's consistent. Easy. So there's a whole bunch of moves,
like
but it has the... Yes, exactly. that works for me.
Scott's like, no.
But it's quite an easy dance, and that's why it's lasted since the 20s, and everybody knows what the Charleston is. You know, if you go, I've been invited to a Charleston party, everyone knows what to wear, they can make it up.
No, we don't.
Well, compared to a Lindy Hop party. So, the Charleston is like, you put it like on Strictly, like you mentioned, they always have a Charleston there because the public love the Charleston because everyone knows what it is. You know, and I know in the Australian show they used to do Lindy Hop routines, but in the UK they feel like no one really knows what the Lindy Hop is compared to the Charleston.
It's a fabulous book because you've got the chapter begins with the piano keys, the ivory and ebony piano keys, with your top 10 examples of the Charleston rhythm.
That's right. So people, when they have the book, there's some tunes that you can start with, and you can dance the Charleston with those tunes. And
Sydney Bechet there, Fat Swallow, fantastic selection. I mean, the music really is just worth it.
The music drives it, and that ragtime sound of the Charleston, that's what makes it so much fun too. It's the most fun dance because the music has just got that wonderful joy to it.
Can you go there and just stand there and enjoy the music?
Yeah,
people
solo
that just
Charleston
dress up and don't dance.
Absolutely, solo Charleston is as important as partner Charleston. So a lot of people you don't even need a partner. You can just start Charlestoning, and that's the beauty of it.
Scott, you got the world record, didn't you?
We did. So Swing Patrol recently, we decided the record was 503, and we thought, wouldn't it be fun? We have such a massive community in London, so we had 975 people turn up, and so the Guinness Book of Records have sanctioned it just a few weeks ago, so London has the world record for the largest gathering of Charleston dancers
Congratulations
ever.
to
It's exciting.
You mentioned the Lindy Hop. You've mentioned it several times this one. I love the Lindy Hop. I got involved. No, I became aware of it through watching the old jazz footage.
Indeed.
And there's a character called Norma Miller, who's also happily in the book.
There's a whole section on Norma Miller, and Norma Miller is like the mother of the swing dance era, as in the only surviving member of the Whitey's Lindy Hoppers, and still alive.
How old is she now?
She's 95, I think. And so she's still so funny. She's a comedian also back in her day. So when she speaks, she's very forthright, and she'll say outrageous things to people in the crowd. But people love her. You can't get enough of her because she's just so entertaining. And of course, tells an incredible story because she was there as a teenager at the Savoy Ballroom when sort of the Lindy Hop all sort of was found. So it's an incredible opportunity to have Norma still alive and talking to us.
What decade was
this? Is back in 1915, 16 that she was like a teenager, and then through the 20s she became one of the key dancers at the Savoy Ballroom.
It's an incredible story, isn't it? Because this is in terms of just race relations, really, because this is the mass adoption by the white mainstream in America of black culture.
It's an incredible period, and Norma Miller, probably, I'm so pleased that you know of her. You think of like how famous the first black baseballer was, like Jackie Robinson. She used to stay in hotels with Jackie Robinson when she was on tour because they had to stay in the black hotels. So she got to deal with other people who then became really well known. But Norma Miller, she could dance at the Savoy Ballroom but was banned from the Roseland Ballroom 2 blocks away. She could perform at the Cotton Club. Oh, sorry. She could perform at a lot of places around New York, but only could go through the entrance. She couldn't go there as a guest, only as a performer. So it was incredible the way, and she's still quite bitter about that. She won't attend the Roseland Ballroom today, even though they've tried to get her to attend.
Understandably so. Let's hear some more music. This is Slim and Slam Jump Session.
Love this tune. Love Slim and Slam.
What would you expect when this comes on?
I select a very unique focus on guitar and a lot of scatting. They're known for their scatting.
Ready to jump because the rhythm is jumping, jump session. The rhythm is jumping, jump session. The rhythm is jumping, jump session.
Great sound of Slim and Slam Jump Session. My guest today is Scott Cupit, and he is author of Fashion, Music, Culture and Key Moves. There's a foreword by Deborah Meaden on there. I'm trying to see where the label, what publishers. Jacqui Small is the publisher.
That's
there.
Right.
I should say Jules in Hackney, who's one of our regular listeners, has got in touch. She says, gorgeous show, Cerys, as ever. I want to say a word for the London Swing Dance Society, who have been keeping swing dance alive in London for many years, long before Swing Patrol came along.
Absolutely.
There's room for all of us, of course.
Absolutely. And Simon Selman, he's the head of that, and he's such a great gentleman, and I've known Simon for many years. We've stayed at the same rooms in Sweden and tour and so forth. So yeah, London's a big scene with many great groups.
Presumably this phenomenon can be seen across the world.
It's incredible. I mean, I've been a guest teacher in Vasa, Finland, and Fiji, and there's a swing scene now in Dubai and the Saigon Swing Cats, and any city you go to now, there'll be a swing dance scene, which I think is incredible. That wasn't the case 12 years ago. Let's
talk more about the dancing. You said you were quite fond of the aerials, but you don't get thrown up. You throw the ladies up.
Yeah, I'm a bit heavy, I think. Yeah, I think that's, and Frankie Manning, who's also, there's a section in the book, his eyes would light up when you'd ask him about the aerials. He's sort of considered the founder of the aerials, and he always tells this great story how he had a mattress and a girl in his room trying to figure out, and then his mother walked in and he was trying to explain to his mother what he was trying to invent, but of course his mother didn't believe him. But aerials is exciting because of the crowd reaction. Someone goes upside down and the crowd cheer, and it creates this adrenaline and a buzz in the room. So yeah, aerials are part of the performance part of Lindy Hop.
And there's a wonderful picture on page 167 here of Norma Miller, like way high up in the air above the head of Billy Ricker. They were performing with Irwin C. Miller's Brown Skin Models Harlem Roadshow circa 1940 in Chicago.
Yeah, and those photos are thanks to the Frankie Foundation. They're incredible photos through the book, and Norma Miller was just so amazing. And yeah, that's
describe the Lindy Hop.
Well, the Lindy Hop is, I guess, of all the dances, I consider myself a Lindy Hopper more than anything. To me, it's the dance that changed my life. You know, I left my banking career because I just loved the movement of this dance. You know, I love swing dance, swing music, and it just fitted so well. It has this elastic feeling of in and out, and it just fits the rhythm and the phrasing of the music. And yeah, it's my thing.
Scott, this is number one with all many playlists. When you look at playlists for swing dancing, it's Count Basie's Jumping at the Woodside.
Yeah, and the crowds always go crazy.
What kind of dance to this?
Well, fast for a start. You would Lindy Hop to this, but you need to dance fast, and often a jam session would erupt where one couple gets in to show off and then another couple get in, and it creates this big energy and this ball of craziness where the aerials come out.
Sounds great. Count Basie's Jumping at the Woodside. I'm joined by Scott Cupit, dancer. Is that nice to have that as your bio?
I love it when you call me that, because sometimes people see me as the business guy because of Deborah Meaden and Dragon's Den and Swing Patrol's growth. But at the end of the day, I left my banking and finance career to be a dancer.
Yeah, because you won. Did you win Dragon's Den? I don't.
Yeah, we got funding through Deborah, and so I meet with Deborah quite regularly. And Deborah's been absolutely fantastic because she loves dancing and she realises that we're an art form. And so I guess she just enjoys being involved with Swing Patrol.
We got a text in from a proud mum. My son Ian dances with Swing Patrol Skyliners and he just loves it. They're a great bunch and have so much fun. Must have skipped a generation though, because I fall over my own feet all the
that
time.
must be Ian Carter's mum. So Skyliners is one of our troops. We have troops that perform all over London. There's the Brat Pack and Skyliners, the Dixie Diners and the Down and Outs. So yeah, we have a bunch of amazing performers all over town.
Anything planned for Manchester, Leeds,
well, no,
Glasgow, Cardiff?
Well, there's a lot of dancing in Wales, and I've been a guest teacher out there, as I have in Manchester and Leeds, and they have great swing scenes. So if you're from up there, yeah, check out the local scenes. There's great groups.
If somebody wants to get involved, what's your website?
Well, you can look up www.swingpatrol.co.uk, and that's obviously my bubble and my area of influence, and it's a great crowd, so hopefully you'll check us out.
Tell us, before you leave, though, the Balboa.
Well, I love Balboa. That's a little shuffle dance that evolved on the Balboa Peninsula in California. And so, of course, the old-timers that started with Balboa always say to us, the fact that young people are doing it all over the world validates their lives. They thought it would just come and go with them. So Balboa's now danced globally, and it's a beautiful dance.
Is that the little tiny
tiny dance, exactly.
It's super fast.
Super fast. It doesn't always have to be, but yes, you can handle it if the music's fast. That's what I revert to often.
It's fably old-fashioned, this book. It's got the underarm turn in the steps, how to do it, the basic...
Yeah,
the shag, which I'm familiar with, coming from South Carolina.
Exactly, and shag's had a revival too. There's always shag couples now on dance floors. I was in Edinburgh last weekend and there was lots of shag happening. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
And you've got all the helps with the looks, the collegiate looks, the flapper look and so forth. Well, good luck with everything. And
Thank you so much.
The book's out already. Jacqui Small is the publisher, and it's called Swing Dance, Fashion, Music, Culture and Key Moves.
I really appreciate you having me today. It's really fun.
Scott's our pleasure. And we'll end with another favourite artist of mine and a favourite song as well. So this would be to dance the Lindy Hop with it. Sydney Bechet, Joshua Fit, The Battle of Jericho.
Absolutely. It's a great tune.
How would you say it? You know, we say bon appetit just before eating. What do you say before dancing? Do you have like one of those things?
No, but I can make one up, like have a good one.
Or just, come on, Icaru. Come on, Icaru. Use the Cab Calloway one. Let me see it. Now, don't you be that Icaru. Come on, get hip and follow through.
Yeah, Cab Calloway, indeed.
Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.